Back. A 10-year-old Wisconsin boy is under arrest, accused of shooting his mother to death because she refused to buy him an expensive virtual reality headset off of Amazon. That's according to a criminal complaint. He's now charged as an adult. 41-year-old Kiana Mann was shot at close range on November 21st. And we're not naming the child, of course, because of his age. Reporter Uba Ali with our affiliate WTMJ has more on this story.
It's still a surprise when there's a shooting around. Usually it's a quiet neighborhood.
Steve Frisch has lived near 87th and Hemlock for more than 2 decades. His quiet neighborhood was shaken up last week after police say a 10-year-old boy killed his mother. Frisch described the family as average.
He just asked me how I'm doing and stuff like that.
According to a criminal complaint, the boy originally told police he accidentally shot his mom when he was twirling the gun. But the next day, the family called police with serious concerns. They say the boy told his aunt he was actually aiming the gun at his mother. According to detectives, the boy said he got the gun because he was mad at his mom for waking him up at 6 in the morning and that she would not allow him to order a virtual reality headset from Amazon. Police say the boy told them he got the gun by taking his mom's keys to the gun safe. He says he took up a shooting stance and that he wanted to shoot the wall to scare her, but she walked in front of him. Family told the police the boy had, quote, rage issues all his life, and at 4 years old picked up a puppy by its tail and swung it around until it whined in pain. The criminal complaint states that 6 months ago, the 10-year-old filled a balloon with flammable liquid and set it on fire, which caused a sectional and carpet in their home to catch fire. A sibling told police the 10-year-old was meeting with a therapist who gave him a concerning diagnosis that led his mother to place cameras inside their home. The cameras were unplugged 2 weeks ago. A family member told police, quote, they felt bad for not stepping in earlier because they knew that eventually something bad was going to happen. We asked Mayor Kevlar Johnson about the charges the 10-year-old is facing.
Anytime there's violence that happens in Milwaukee, whether it's committed by somebody who's 10 years old or much older than that, that gives me pause. I don't want to see anybody hurt or lose their lives in the city. In this particular case, I don't have the details just yet. This is something that is just coming to my attention.
Right. Now, the boy is expected to be in court tomorrow afternoon. Still with me in studio, criminal defense attorneys Jack Rice, Josh Schiffer. I mean, immediately, Jack, the eyebrows go up. You got a 10-year-old. Your thoughts?
Yeah, the allegations are horrifying. There's no question. But my real concern here is he is 10 years old.
Yeah.
One of the elements of this charge is going to be intent. And I don't think that a 10-year-old has the requisite intent in order to actually commit an act like this. In Minnesota, right next door, the standard is 14. And at 14, the way it works is that the presumption is that they would be juveniles, even 14 and 15. 16 and 17 is when they have the potential to actually certify them as adults. But a big part of this is how do you take a kid like this and keep him in the system long enough to make sure that they have oversight over him? But the idea of charging him as an adult and then putting him in what, an adult circumstance, an adult prison in some capacity.
Not right away. In Wisconsin, you can't put him there till at least 17
but
years.
contemplate what that means at that point onward. That makes no sense to me at all.
It's crazy. Quickly though, let me explain. He's charged with first-degree reckless homicide, which is recklessly causing the death of someone under circumstances which show an utter disregard for human life. He says he took the gun and wanted to shoot it to scare his mom. Mom got in the way and was shot. So you can see that.
Yeah, and there is intent involved in a reckless act because you intended to do something that was then later determined to be reckless.
Right.
What the charging decision is that there wasn't a plan of forethought of, you're getting together and doing an assassination or something like that. It's clearly something that was kind of last second. Few things blow up my social media like the intersection of little kids and criminal justice, because this isn't a 14-year-old. This is 10.
10, yeah.
10, there's an ocean of distance between 10 and criminal culpability.
Yeah.
There's no way that they should be able to hold this judge. Not that he doesn't need lots of assistance, help, state intervention.
Does.
Absolutely.
Right.
Needs it constantly. We need more of that. But a criminal prosecution as an adult, I find very concerning. And I
All right,
wonder
wait, but
what
before we go on, I want to go. The Wisconsin Legislative Council, they had an information memorandum about charging kids this young. An adult court has original jurisdiction over all of the following: a juvenile who is alleged to have attempted or committed first-degree intentional homicide, or to have committed first or second-degree reckless homicide on or after the juvenile's 10th birthday. Moving on. If the adult court finds probable cause, the court must determine whether to retain jurisdiction or transfer jurisdiction to the juvenile court. And here's what happens. If convicted, and basically it's up to the defense to prove by a preponderance of the evidence all of the following: that if convicted, the juvenile could not receive adequate treatment in the criminal justice system, that transferring jurisdiction to a juvenile court would not depreciate the seriousness of the offense, and that retaining jurisdiction is not necessary to deter juveniles or other juveniles from committing the violation of which the juvenile is accused. So when this comes up and the defense is going to try to prove those three things, do you think they get there? I mean, the fact is that kids had mental health issues, rage issues. We've seen it. I think they have preponderance of the evidence.
I think what happens, and it's the way the system should work. Reasonable prosecutors and reasonable defense attorneys are going to sit down in a room and decide what the best thing for everyone is, considering the unique circumstances at play. Prosecutors don't want to go prosecute 10-year-olds and send them to adult prison forever. No one goes to home at night and is like, guess what I did tonight, sweet? Like, no, it's awful. But everybody recognizes this child has dramatic needs, and I imagine they will try to position it for what's the best pathway to address the needs this child has, and it might be by consent.
Yeah.
They might send it, never to agree juvenile court, or they might agree to keep it in adult court because there's more services.
Let's talk about how he got the gun real quick. Apparently the kid, the mom had the gun locked up,
Right.
but it was in reach of the cop because he got her keys, opened up the case, and that's how he got the gun. And, you know, all these are deliberate acts.
Well, see, they're all deliberate acts, but we have to go big picture for a second. Brain development, what we can say is the brain isn't fully developed until about the age of 25. So I understand there's this debate between 18 and 25 when you hit the adult. But there's a difference between 16 and 18. There's a difference between 14 and 16. And experts have already looked at this issue very, very clearly. The idea that you're going to actually stretch it back to the age of 10 and then say the adult court has first jurisdiction over a 10-year-old is an astounding decision, and then place it on the defense to actually have the burden to pull it back into juvenile court. That is astounding. It is simply not done in almost the rest of the country, where it stays in juvenile, or that magic line is 14 years old. Anything below that is not even a criminal act. There's a reason for that. It's simply based upon the lack of development of anybody at that age.
Yeah, I was astounded. I had to do the research. I thought, there's no way that there it is in writing.
It makes sense to me, though. I gotta say, I like the way Wisconsin does it.
All right, fair enough.